Good morning, YouTube. Today we've got something pretty cool for you. We've got a Ferrari 458 and a Ferrari 488, and they are almost identical in spec, but I've already reviewed the 458 and the 488, so
I'm gonna do it.
So are you recording all of the nefarious activities?
if you're new to the channel, my name is Dan, that is Josh, and we are at The Stub. This is our dealership, NG Supercars. So if you're interested in buying any of our supercars, check out our website, ngsupercars.com. Better yet, if you need any parts or services for your car, check out our website, normalguysupercar.com, and we can get you hooked up with 10% off most of the things we sell using the code NGS10, including Kline Inconel exhausts and Novitec springs and tunes.
So we're gonna go through these cars, we're gonna drive them and show you some differences. It's pretty rare that we get two cars that are identically modified. They both have Novitec springs, they both have Kline Inconel exhausts, catless, they both have tunes. They're both black, obviously. So it's gonna be pretty cool to face them off. Okay, we're gonna start with the 458. It's been lowered on Novitec springs. It's pretty low. This one's got a front lifter on it. If you needed to go over a speed bump or something, lowering it's not gonna be an issue. I think if you lowered this without the front lifter, it might cause problems getting in and out of parking lots and stuff.
Just put some scrape guards.
It's got the painted lower valence piece. A lot of those are that gray plastic, 5-spoke wheels.
It's got spacers on the wheels too.
Yeah, spacers. You can see the stance on this thing is perfect, like absolutely perfect. I'm not sure what size the spacers are, but you can see them in there. The Kline carbon fiber exhaust tips, those are pretty sweet. We do sell those too. Just a super clean car. It's got a PPF on it. It's got full ceramic coating. The interior is really spec'd well as too. It's got the carbon race seats, carbon fiber dash, carbon fiber door panels, carbon fiber door sills. These seats are the most comfortable seats in a Ferrari, in my opinion. Now we can go over to its big brother, or little brother, I guess, because it's newer.
Yeah, younger brother.
Younger brother. Same thing, same car, just a 488. We actually sold this one and we had those wheels powder coated black. They're the factory wheels. They look pretty good. If you look at the caliper size on this, and then you go over here to the 458, the caliper is a little bigger on the 488. But where it's much bigger is in the back, because it's got the parking brake built into it. You can see on the top right here, the parking brake. Whereas on the 458, I believe it's a drum, right, Dan?
Yeah, the parking brake's an internal drum.
Internal drum on the 458. So this one's lowered on the Novitec springs, but it doesn't look as aggressive.
He doesn't have the wheel spacers.
Right, and there's no wheel spacers on it. You can see the difference, you know, if you look at it from the side. The wheel's kind of tucked in a little. If you look at this one, it's flush with the fender. Maybe put some wheel spacers on there. We also sell those. It's got this really cool ducktail carbon fiber spoiler. It's got the 1x1 weave in it. It's pretty cool. The taillights are tinted. It's carbon fiber diffuser. Carbon fiber engine bay. I like the way the engine sits down far inside the 488.
Yeah, it sits really low.
Just the display they did on this car is really good. It's better than the 458 in my opinion. This one doesn't have the sport seats, but it's just got the comfort seats. They look pretty good though. Black with yellow stitch. This does have the carbon fiber door sills. The dash is a little different in this car.
You know what I noticed was the binnacles are actually different.
Yeah.
When you really get to look at them, the binnacle.
So these binnacles don't have the stitch like the 458 all the way across, and it's like a two-piece where you got two pieces right here.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be less prone to the leather shrinking.
Hopefully.
Also, if you notice this piece up here on the 458 is leather. That piece along the dash, and that leather peels and it's a pain in the butt, but on this it's just plastic. Yep. So you don't have to worry about that. And this is the way they did the dash in the 488 is nice. Yeah. It definitely looks a little more modern in here. The font is different on all the buttons too. It looks a little bit better. And they did the buttons in the gray plastic instead of the sticky button material on some of them. Got some custom floor mats there. Those are pretty cool. Alcantara headliner with the yellow stitch. All right, now we're gonna go drive them.
The fun part.
This is the first time I've driven this one. I can tell it's going to be a beast already.
It is
The exhaust is ridiculous.
It's a lot rougher with the lowering springs.
Oh God, yeah.
Ride quality is definitely worse.
Put it in sport mode for
Yeah,
now.
sport. We're gonna beat ourselves up. This is not a smooth road.
This is like a good setup for the track or some just aggressive, mountain curvy roads or something. Like I said, I wouldn't want a car like this low without that axle lift.
Nah.
Oh, I can't wait to get on it. I didn't really get on it that hard. Oh my God.
Holy.
The sound. Oh yeah. Oh, it does the nice little popping. It's not excessive though. We saw excessive popping at Car Week with all the BMWs.
Oh God.
It was terrible. This car just feels awesome. I don't know how. Really no other way to explain it. Jesus. Just feels so light.
Yeah.
Like it's not even trying to do this. It's just doing it.
It's so easy to drive fast.
Yeah. Which that could get some people into trouble.
Oh yeah.
It's very linear. The power is very linear, but it's still strong.
God, that sound.
Anyone that owns a 458 and doesn't put an exhaust on it, I don't understand. Because that sound,
It's everything you ever dreamed of
Yeah.
a Ferrari.
it really is. Do these shoot flames?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, I got to do one more pull in this thing
Yes.
before we take it back. Oh, maybe not. There's a car passing other cars. Everybody we just passed was like, "What the hell was that?"
Oh, they just went deaf if their ears or if their windows were open.
It's actually not too bad inside the car,
No.
but outside the car you need earplugs.
Oh yeah.
The nice thing about these cars too is when you want to have fun, you can get on it, and they're loud and they're fun. But right now we're just cruising along at 60 in 7th gear. We can have a conversation. I can close the valves. It's quiet now.
It's really pleasant.
You could take this on a road trip.
Yep.
And then when you want to go crazy, you turn the valves off, or open the valves up, put it in race mode, and you're good to go. It's very, very bouncy in race mode with these lowering springs. If you put it in sport, it's actually pretty tolerable.
That's true of the regular 458 too.
Yeah, it's one of the few cars that you change a setting on and you actually notice a difference.
Oh yeah.
Most cars, you put it in sport mode and it doesn't do anything. You're like, what's the point? I think they just changed something on the screen to make people think it's a sports car.
Yeah. My trusty steed is here. God, that was
Need
epic.
a ride? Does it sound good from the outside?
Jesus, those pops were deafening.
It sounds like an angry hornet or something.
Oh, dude.
I don't know what. The throttle's way more touchy in race mode.
Oh, yeah.
It's like you barely touch it and you're kind of bucking around a little bit.
I mean, it's still pretty amazing. Especially the turbo spinning down.
All right, we're in the 488 now. First thing, this car's a little more comfortable.
Yeah.
It just feels a little newer inside. Nothing against that car or this car or whatever, but The leather just seems a little bit nicer in here, like a little more attention to detail on things. I like the buttons a little bit better. The steering wheel, they didn't put carbon fiber on this particular one, but I think if you're going to buy one of these, you got to have that.
Yeah.
With the LED lights. The ride quality is much better, and this is also on the same setup that the 458 had. Doesn't feel as darty as the 458. It's a little smoother on the turning. The 458's kind of like jerky, whereas this one's a little more smooth.
Yeah, I can see that. Like the steering ratio is almost just barely too high on the 458.
Yeah. I can tell already too that the throttle is not as sensitive. It was a little overly sensitive in race mode on the 458. No, it's not as it's not as jerky. The two screens on the instrument cluster are higher resolution and the font's a little easier to read than on the 458. One big problem though, the tach only goes to 8,000 on this car.
That extra 1,000 is pretty nice.
I like going to 9,000. That's pretty fun. The shifting's faster on this. It's not in the 458. You get kind of a tiny bit of a little jerk, whereas this you shifts and you don't even feel it. It's definitely quieter. And I can hear those turbos spooling up when you put a little bit of load on it, which sounds really cool, admittedly. Don't have any Ferrari sound. About 4,000 RPM, you can hear the Ferrari sound coming from the back. But the turbos overpower that sound. This car is definitely more comfortable. If I had to pick between the two to take on a trip, it'd be this one. All right, here we go. We'll do a little pull on this thing.
Jesus.
Okay, that's not even a fair competition with the 458. That's like McLaren 720 fast.
Do that again.
I'm going to, absolutely. The problem is you get to the red line way too fast.
Oh yeah.
It needs a little more.
Yeah.
It needs just a little bit more. Jeez.
That smile says it all right there.
Oh man, if both cars were the same price, it'd be a seriously hard choice.
If both were the same price, I don't think it'd be a hard choice at all. It'd be this.
The 458 feels more like a race car,
Yeah.
if you can even say that about it, but
That's true.
it feels more raw. This is way more refined. But man, when you step on it, it's ridiculous.
Animal.
And I have driven one of these put a lot of miles on one of these with no tune on it, and it's totally different.
Yeah.
With the no tune on it, it drives more like the 458, where the power is very linear. You don't get that crazy like turbo when the turbo kicks in, like it does on this car. I don't know if they over boosted it or what they did, but let's go.
Good Lord.
And when you shift, it pulls even harder.
Yeah.
It just doesn't want to stop going.
They're clearly doing boost by gear.
Yeah.
It's obviously getting more boost in the next gear.
Yeah. And it's like they give you max boost at like 4,000 RPM and it stays at max boost all the way to the red line. It doesn't taper off like some other cars I've driven. When the RPMs get high, the boost starts to come down a little bit. Not this car. At least it doesn't feel that way. Even on the downshifts, you hear the turbo spool a little bit.
School bus or something.
The other great thing is that the traction control light was on through the first 3 gears. It made a nice loud pop too on that last. I love the DRS light that comes on.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty cool. It does still have a Ferrari sound, so everybody says this car sounds like crap. Well, they haven't driven one with a catless exhaust on it,
Yeah.
because you can still hear the Ferrari in there. It's not as pronounced as the 458, but it's still amazing. The downshifts are way quicker on this car. When you you short shift it, it's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
I noticed that when it gets to about 75, it starts to cut the power a little bit before it gets to the red line. So yeah, 75 is pretty ideal. So if you have one of these cars, you need to do a tune on it at the very least, because it totally changes this car.
I mean, let's be real, you gotta do a tune and exhaust
Yeah.
to have it be a proper Ferrari.
Yeah. This exhaust does drone a little more than the 458 for some reason.
It does.
Maybe that has to do with the turbos or something, I don't know. Just cruising along, it's definitely a little louder. Well, I guess 7th gear when it's in low RPM, it's not bad. Dude, this car is so dumb. I think I need to have one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this car is awesome. I think if the 458 looked like, or if the 488 looked like the 458, it would be the perfect car.
Really? I actually like the look. I like the look of the 488 more from the side and from the back.
Yeah, the front of the 458 looks much better in my opinion.
Yeah, I would
But
agree.
the Pista is a badass car.
The Pista looks incredible.
From the front, from every angle. So I think a Pista with an exhaust and a tune.
Oh, God.
Now we're talking, I think, probably the ultimate Ferrari, right?
That could be the current best Ferrari possible.
Haven't driven one, a modified Pista, yet.
We need to convince Jocko to modify his.
Or we should get one.
I'm down. Twist my arm.
If I had all the money in the world, I'd have both of these in the garage.
Right?
Yeah. I guess we need to do an F8 with the tune on it too.
Yeah. And exhaust.
Because the F8 is a little bit faster than this car stock. Luckily we know somebody with one, so maybe we could get him to let us drive it and film a video on it or something.
Casey.
These cars are both cool.
Understatement.
Understatement. I'm curious what everybody thinks, what they would pick. Let's assume that they were the same price, which in some cases they are right now. The 488s have come down a lot in price. You can get them pretty cheap now, but if both were the same price, which one would you take? I know a lot of the younger people like the turbo cars, so there's probably going to be a lot of people that favor this one, and maybe the older people like the 458. I don't know. What do you think, Dan?
I mean, I think if the price is the same, it's a no-brainer. You got to get the 488.
Yeah.
I think if there's a small price disparity where the 488s are like $20,000 to $50,000 more, I think it depends on the options and whatever.
Yeah.
Definitely worth that. Like, it is that much better of a car.
Yeah.
And it all comes down to is like, do you have to have that scream?
And I mean, this sounds pretty amazing. It's not a 458, but it's pretty close. It's very different.
Yeah, I could live with this.
Yeah, I could live with this. Just that acceleration alone makes the car.
It's insane acceleration.
Yeah. Well, we're back at the shop. If that doesn't put a smile on your face, I don't know what does. What will.
I'm smiling.
That was cool.
Yeah. I mean, you really can't go wrong, but yeah, that's a good view right here. We should sit here and enjoy it.
We have 6 Ferraris
In view.
in view. And then we have this turd over here.
Hey, it's gone.
It's gone. It's sold. We're just waiting on it to get picked up.
All right, you guys. Well, I think that was pretty cool to have Josh give his opinions on it because you've already heard mine. Go back and watch my video if you haven't seen it. Honestly, I think my opinions probably changed a little bit. I think I was much stronger in favor of the 458 before, but that was a stock 488. And I'll tell you, the tune alone, the tune is the big thing. The tune wakes this car up and really makes it just incredible. The exhaust makes it sound like a proper Ferrari. You get all the good sounds, and then you still have that turbo noise, which is really cool too. Anyway, like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Visit normalguysupercar.com if you need parts, services from us, or if you need to buy a car from us, NG Supercars. Check it out, and you can email us sales@ngsupercars if you have any questions or anything like that. But that's gonna do it. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for watching. We're gonna be doing a lot of cool car stuff, so you're gonna want to stay tuned. It's gonna be sweet.